This is the most expensive hike in America. It costs more to hike this trail than it costs to visit Disneyland.
But it's not just expensive, it's remote. Tucked hundreds of miles from civilization, this trail takes 3 full days to complete. It's long, brutal, and scorching hot. So why does it cost so much? Well, supposedly it's one of the most epic and breathtaking hikes on Earth, surrounded by surreal turquoise waterfalls and crystal clear natural pools unlike anywhere else. You need a permit just to get in, and they're so rare some people wait years to score one. I'll be hiking deep into Havasupai, the hidden gem inside the Grand Canyon, to find out if the price tag is actually worth it. And here's the catch, I have to carry everything I need on my back. I'll be crossing rivers, trekking through otherworldly landscapes, and chasing what many call the most beautiful waterfalls on the planet. But here's the wildest part. There's a secret village deep in the canyon which I will pass through, where the only way to get supplies is by mule. Most people don't even know this exists. I can't wait to find out what makes this place so unique. Let's go begin this epic adventure.
Ready or not, here we go. All right, I've just gotten my car parked and said goodbye to civilization for the next 3 days. This is the official start to the trail right here. So from here, first I have 8 miles to Supai village and then an additional 2 miles to my campground where I'll be spending the next couple of nights. So Supai village is the most remote village in the United States, and there are only 2 ways to get there. You can either take a helicopter in for about $100 per person, or you can hike the 8 miles. Although I do feel like a big part of this experience is getting to experience nature in the Grand Canyon, so I feel like you'd be missing out on that if you took the helicopter ride in. You might be wondering why this permit is so hard to get and why it's so expensive to hike here. Well, the main reason is because Havasupai is on an Indian reservation, and the Havasupai tribe limits the number of people that can start this hike each day. So once a year they'll open up a reservation system where you can go in and book any day of the year, but it will typically sell out within an hour or so, and it's very hard to get the dates you want. But the alternative option is they do have a cancellation list. So if you're looking to book this trip more last minute, which is what I did, it's a lot easier to get a reservation. So I kept a close eye on it, and there happened to become one ticket available for this weekend, so I snagged it immediately. The cost of the ticket is $455. That gets you 3 nights and 4 days camping here. You can also pay extra for a mule to carry your pack down or for the helicopter ride. They say that the reason they limit the number of people coming in per day is they want to conserve this natural beauty of Havasupai and don't want it to get overcrowded, which I truly appreciate. And so I can't wait to see all the waterfalls and everything for myself and find out if this $455 price tag is worth it. First 2 miles have actually been relatively easy so far. You're also probably wondering why I'm starting this hike at 5 o'clock in the morning. Well, the Grand Canyon is notoriously one of the hottest places in America. It can get up to 115 degrees in the summer. So best thing to do is start super early, beat the heat, and get to the waterfalls and cool off later in the day. Also, you are required to bring everything in with you, your food, your water, your camping gear, but the tribe fills up these little boxes along the trail with water bottles to keep you hydrated along the way, which is really cool. So if you're using this video as a guide to do this hike for yourself, one thing to note is you have to check in for the hike before you start at a little hotel that's about an hour away from here. It's called the Caverns Inn Motel. It's a classic, quirky Route 66 motel with all of the weird things you'd expect at a hotel like that. But you can check in for your hike the day before, which is the most efficient thing to do, and then spend a night in a hotel nearby. So you can start this hike really early. So that's what I did. I got a great night's sleep last night, woke up about 4 o'clock, and made my way over here. I am about 4 miles in now, 2+ hours. So making good time, feeling good. Honestly, this trail is super flat from here on out after the initial switchbacks. The reason we have these 2 beautiful canyon walls on either side of us and have a flat trail is because there used to be a massive river flowing through here. So it carved out a perfect path for us to hike through. One fascinating thing about Supai village is that they actually have a post office there. It's the most remote post office in the US, and the logistics of getting supplies in and out is quite fascinating. I've been passed by mules a bunch of times on this trail, and this post office is the only post office that still uses mules to get their mail and other supplies. So the nearest post office here is 75 miles away in a small town called Peachtree, and there's a walk-in freezer at that post office. So they'll store refrigerated goods, all the mail, and then they'll drive it out here by truck, load it up onto mules, and the mules take it to the village. This place is beautiful. Wow. I think I'm starting to understand why this hike is so expensive. Look at this. I mean, come on. Everywhere you look, it is just picturesque, beautiful, and peaceful. Part of what makes this reservation system and hike so special is that other hikes just like this, Zion, Bryce Canyon, even other parts of the Grand Canyon are just jam-packed with people. And don't get me wrong, there are still people on this trail, but not nearly as many. Look around, it is just peaceful. And so really, I think you're paying for this right here, to have this all to yourself. I've just made it to Supai village. This is absolutely epic. At first glance, it kind of looks like Radiator Springs with the massive red rocks blowing up, homes right in front of them. They don't allow pictures and videos inside. So I'm gonna go walk through it and then I'll do my best to re-describe what it looks like, and there are some photos on the internet as well. I am officially blown away. I was expecting Supai village to be a couple houses and a post office. It is an entire city. There is a restaurant, a school, a hotel. I just went to the cafe and ordered a bacon, egg, and cheese breakfast sandwich, and it was one of the most delicious things I've ever eaten. The entire city spans over a mile long, and there are 636 people that live there full time. If you were blindfolded and dropped off in the middle of that city, you would have no idea you're in the middle of the Grand Canyon, hundreds of miles away from civilization. Such a cool place. All right, it took me about 3.5 hours to get to Supai village, and now I have 2 more miles to get to the campground where I'll set up camp. Also, the Havasupai tribe has lived here for 800 years, and I'm just so curious what made them decide on this. I know there's the water source, but like how long did they hike before they're like, yep, this is the spot? Anyway, such a cool experience, and if you're watching this, you need to come visit here. I haven't even gotten to any of the good waterfalls yet, which is why everyone comes here, and I already feel like I could turn around and go home right now and I'd be satisfied. This is so unique. And coming up on Havasu Falls right now. Let's check it out. Oh, wait, this isn't even Havasu Falls. This is just a random waterfall on the side of the trail. Look at this. Casual. Well, as you can see, I'm not wearing a backpack. One of the locals just came by on their Polaris Ranger. So many questions. How'd they get that down here? Helicopter? No way, right? Anyways, they were going down to the campground and they offered to carry my bag for me. What a nice gesture. This hike is so much easier without a pack. Or my bag just got stolen, one of the two. No way, right? Look, over there, a little more. Havasu Falls! We made it! I have seen so many pictures and videos of this place online, and I always wondered if it would live up to the hype in person. That is way better than I could have ever imagined. I need to go get in, I'm so hot. I'm gonna fall. And look at that, my pack is here. Behind a barbed wire fence, but it's here. That was a close call. So the locals who brought my pack down, brought it down to the campground, which is a little ways away from the waterfall. The way the campground works here is it's a first come, first serve. There's a bunch of spots all around and you pick whatever's open. So I'm gonna try and find a good spot. My only thing I'm looking for is I want it to be right on the river so I can jump in and cool down if I need to. And once I set up camp, then I'll go back to Havasu Falls and have a proper swim. If you're curious about the drinking water situation like I was, there's one natural spring here called Fern Spring that you can fill up all of your water. It's so cold. Looks like there's a bunch of campsites open, but most of them aren't right on the river, so I'm gonna keep looking. I think this might be my spot. It's far from everything and there's no picnic table like some of the other camps had, but it's shaded, it's secluded, it's right on the river. What I've read online is that a lot of times you have to camp one spot the first night and then wait for somebody to leave the next day and take their better spot. But all in all, not bad. Before I do anything else, I have to test out the water at my new home. This is gonna be the most refreshing dip in the world. Woo! Chilly, but that's how I want it. Oh, it feels so good. Woo! Oh. Nothing more refreshing after a long hike. I've never used any of this stuff before. My tent, sleeping bag, pad. I bought it all new for this trip. So let's see how long it takes me to set up this tent. Hopefully it doesn't take too long. I'm gonna cave and read the instructions. Not proud of how long it took, but I've got shelter. All right, almost got all my stuff unpacked here. This is the part that's going to be challenging. As you can see, it is not self-inflating. It says you have to step on this part right here and manually pump it up. I have a feeling this could take a while. To my own surprise, it actually worked. It's not half bad, look at that. All right, I've got all my stuff unpacked. I'm settled in at my new camp. I even have my backpack hung up, which they recommend doing, not to protect your food from bears, but rather from critters like squirrels and mice that will sneak into your bag while you're gone if you don't hang it up. Oh, don't fall. And now I can finally go to Havasu Falls. But just look at that. That is what you hike the 10 miles for right here. Look at the color of that water. I need to go get it. This is just one of a handful of waterfalls here at Havasupai, and this isn't even the biggest one. So this is just a warm-up for what we're gonna be experiencing tomorrow.
For some reason my audio went out right here, but what I was saying is that I have a goal to do all of the most epic hikes in the world. I've already climbed Mount Everest Base Camp, Mount Fuji in Japan, the tallest mountain in Africa, Mount Kilimanjaro, and now this. Let me know which one I should do next in the comments.
When I first got here, there were people everywhere right here. And now I've just waited long enough that most people have left, and it's super magical. So I'm gonna try and go to all the waterfalls really early tomorrow, be the first person there, because it is so fun having this basically all to myself. Up at the top of Havasu Falls, there's this little shack run by a local family where they serve a local dish of fry bread. It's a flattened piece of dough, and then on top there are beans, beef, lettuce, cheese, tomatoes. There's a little sauce station over here. This is $17, which feels like a steal given the location that we're in right now. But this place just continually blows my mind. Like, I was not expecting to eat this up here. All right, first piece of fry bread.
What's the highest? Yeah.
Dude, it's amazing. The bread is perfectly fried and the beef is delicious. Just gets better and better. Look at my perfect little spot. I almost forgot. There's one more thing I brought that I need to set up. I think I've had this hammock for 5 years and maybe used it once. So it's time to change that. Hope I set this up right. Oh yeah, look at that. Right next to the river, relaxing. Life is good. Well, it's only 7 p.m., but I'm exhausted after today's hike, and I want to get an early start on the morning tomorrow. So I think I'm gonna hit the sack. It has been a really fun day, and the temperature is finally starting to come down. I'm here in early June, and it was very hot today, not gonna lie. But as soon as the sun went down, the temperature is very pleasant now, and looking forward to getting a good night's sleep with this beautiful white noise behind me. Good morning. So campfires are not allowed at Havasupai, but what you can use are these little jet boils, which is a little propane tank with a flame on top, and you can boil your hot water. So for breakfast, I'm having some oatmeal today. Also, it's chilly this morning, which was a wonderful surprise after how hot it was yesterday. I was super happy to put a jacket on. Here's my little oatmeal hack to make it actually taste good. Put a scoop of protein powder in there, chocolate, mix that all up. Now you have high protein oatmeal and it tastes way better. I mean, I've had some cool breakfast spots before, but this one's definitely up there on that list. All right, let's go get the day started. All right, so the plan for today is I try and avoid falling in this river. Whew. That was a little sketchy. Is to visit 2 new waterfalls. The first one being Mooney Falls, which is the biggest waterfall in the area, but it's also the most dangerous to get to. You'll see what I'm talking about here in a few minutes. And the second one, I'm gonna keep a surprise for now. Also, while it's fresh on my mind, if I were to do this again, picking a campsite is so important. I would definitely pick a spot that has a picnic table. So much easier for setting up camp and eating meals. And I would pick a campsite that's closer to the water source. There's only one place to get fresh water here, and my campsite is about a mile away from it. So every time I have to get water, I'm trekking it pretty far. Oh my gosh. I thought Havasu Falls was cool. Look at this. Not only is it twice as big as Havasu Falls, you can hear this from all the way down at the camp. It is so powerful, and the color of that water is just mind-blowing. But now I have to get down to it, and this is the sketchy part. So the only way to get down to the base of the waterfall is you have to go down this deep, dark hole.
2, 3. Okay.
What have I got myself into? Here we go. Oh. First tunnel is not too long. There are a couple of these, but there are steps inside. It's not too bad. And look at this right when you come out.
Well, the tunnels weren't so bad, but this next part, much sketchier than I could have possibly imagined. This section is notoriously dangerous and many people choose to avoid it altogether. But I didn't realize just how risky this actually was. You have to descend down a vertical cliff face with no protection. There are some chains and rocks to hold on to, but the mist from the waterfalls actually reaches all the way over here, making every step and every handhold soaking wet. But you know what they say, higher the risk, higher the reward, right? When you finally make it to the bottom and see this waterfall up close, it makes it all worth it.
I think making it to the bottom of Mooney Falls is a good enough reason to have a snack break. And I do have to pass through here on my way back up to camp as well, so I have to go back up those ladders and chains to get back. So when I come back here, I'm gonna get in the water and swim. But for right now, I have 4 more miles to the next waterfall, and this one's already starting to get busy, so I'm gonna try and get there before everybody else does. Well, just fell in the water. Camera's soaked, boots are soaked. That's my slip mark right there. So the next waterfall I'm hiking to is called Beaver Falls. And to get to Beaver Falls, you have to make multiple river crossings. So what most people do is they just wear their boots and get their boots wet when they cross the river. But what I wanted to do, I brought my sandals and I was gonna test out taking off my boots, crossing the river in my sandals, and then putting the boots back on to see how it worked. But since I already fell in the river, I'm just gonna keep my boots wet. It feels so weird wearing hiking boots in the water. Oh, this is getting a little deep. Made the rookie mistake of leaving my phone in my pocket, just got soaked. The trail to Beaver Falls is a little difficult to follow even if you have it mapped on all trails, but there are these little pink ribbons marking the trail and telling you which way to go. Thank you. I do actually appreciate these river crossings because even though it's only 10 in the morning, it's already over 90 degrees. So this is an easy way to cool off. Don't go over the water. And about 3 hours later, since I've left my campsite, I've made it to Beaver Falls. This waterfall, instead of being one giant waterfall, is a bunch of little falls that make up these beautiful pools. Check this out. Brought my jet boil with me today. And this seems like the perfect spot to eat lunch before leaving Beaver Falls. This thing's pretty awesome. It only takes about 30 seconds to heat up this boiling water. And on the menu today, we have beef pasta marinara. Why did I touch that? I'm supposed to touch up here. Anyways, pour in the water, zip it up, let it sit for 10 minutes, and it's ready to go. All right, pasta's ready. Let's give this a try. That's honestly not bad for a freeze-dried meal. The best part is that the pools are formed like bowls, so they have edges on them, so you can just come, sit right here, and look over the falls. Gorgeous. So if you're wondering if it's worth it to visit Havasupai, is it worth the heavy price tag, all of the hiking in and out, having to camp by yourself? Yes, it is all worth it. This is one of the most special, magical places I've ever been. Yes, it is difficult. Yes, it's expensive, but at the same time, where else in the world can you get views like this? It's just amazing. Oh. Woo! So there is one more big hike you can do in this area after Beaver Falls. It's called the Confluence, and it is 6 miles that way. It's where the Havasu River and the Colorado River meet, so you have the blue-green water mixed with the muddy brown Colorado River water, and coming together, it just looks really cool. But that sign right there says it's 6 miles one way. And it says don't start the hike after 10 a.m. or else you'll be hiking back in the dark. And it's already 1 p.m. So I'm gonna skip it today, head back to Mooney Falls. A lot of people wanna know when the best time is to visit Havasupai. After all my research and now being here, I'm here in the summer, early June. The pros of coming in the summer are that it's hot, so the waterfalls in the water are very refreshing, but the cons are that it's very hot. So you can't do much during the day other than swim. It's also a lot more crowded in the summer. I personally think the best time to come is spring or fall. I've heard about some people coming that have the entire waterfalls all to themselves. There's only a handful of people at the campgrounds, and it's not hot, but it's warm, so getting in the water is refreshing. So if you're looking to do this, if you can't get a ticket from the lottery, I would just keep an eye on the cancellation list. And like I said, April or October would be the time I would come if I do it again.
I made it back to Mooney Falls, and after this long hike in the heat, I could hardly wait to jump in the cool, refreshing waterfall. It felt like heaven, and this day was going perfectly until...
No. Ugh. Came back to the fry bread stall because they have a strawberry Nutella fry bread, and I've been looking forward to trying it all day long. It got me through the hiking today, but when I got up to the top, they were closed. So I'm gonna head back to camp, but just one more thought as I close out this trip. The Havasupai tribe owns this land that all of these beautiful waterfalls are on. They're kind enough to let us in as their guests to come and experience this beauty. They could at any time shut this down and say, okay, that's enough, no more tourists. But they don't, and the $455 fee goes to supporting their tribe and their village. So it's just one more reason I'm happy to pay that high price, because this is truly a once-in-a-lifetime, one-of-a-kind, incredible experience, and I hope I've convinced you to come try it out. I'm gonna miss this place. Well, good morning as I make the very long 10-mile trek out of here. Not gonna lie, everything is sore this morning, but that just means it's been a good adventure. Whatever my expectations were of Havasupai coming into this, it has totally exceeded all of those expectations. This is one of the most epic trips I've ever done. The only other place that's blown my mind like this is Iceland with its majestic waterfalls, but this is totally different and such a fun time. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.
Well, that was supposed to be the end of the video, but as I passed through Supai village, I saw the helicopter coming in, and yeah, I couldn't resist. For $140, I got an epic aerial view of the Grand Canyon and saved myself 5 more hours of hiking. Honestly, worth every penny.